Hello everyone, my name is George and this is the production video for Battle Tactics, a game by Joe, Daniel, Mitch, and myself. This game is a foundation for an iOS or Android tablet framework. The UI is a simple one. You have a zoom in and out button to suit whatever playstyle you like. The arrow key, or finger swipe, switches between your four mechs. The end turn button ends your turn and sends your moves to your opponent. The replay button shows your opponent's last turn. When you select your mech, green tiles will appear around it, indicating its movement radius. You will also see three options: attack, defend, and move. You will see your current mech's health bar and action points. The movement system works similar to the Game Boy game Advance Wars. You simply select the tile you want the mech to move to. Every move you make takes action points, which you have 4 of. Every movement tile takes 1 action point. If you don't move the full 4 tiles, you can use your remaining action points to attack or defend. If the player selects defense, the mech's armor is increased, making the mech able to take a higher hit. Once you have exhausted all your mech's action points, you end your turn with the end turn button. The end turn button submits the player's actions to the server, and like the game Words with Friends, it notifies player 2 that it is their turn. This will be covered more in the second segment. Upon completion of player 1's turn, the game shifts to player 2. Player 2 then proceeds in the same manner as player 1, ending their turn once all action points have been used. At the beginning of the turn, the players can use the display previous turn to see the last movements and attacks that the opponents have made. The attack system works very similar to Advance Wars, in that you select your unit, then select the unit that you want to attack. Once a mech's health has been fully depleted, it is removed from the game. The first player to destroy all the opponent's mechs wins the game. At the login screen, the player can log in if he or she already has an account, create an account if he or she doesn't have an account, read the terms of service when creating the account, and a way to recover user information if forgotten. The Create Account screen has fields for name, password, password confirmation, email, email confirmation, a security number, and a security number input. Once the player submits all the information, the client will try to insert all the information to the SQL server. From where, the server will send the user an activation email, which will prevent the user from accessing the game if not activated. Once logged in, the user has a few options on the following screen. He or she can start a new game, join a game that has an open slot, look through his or her existing games, and exit entirely if desired. The New Game button will create a new game and set it as open for joining. Join will look for games which are set to open. Existing games will cycle through all the games that the player is currently involved in, all of which will start the game once everything is instantiated. There will be many different game instances for each client and for each network. Each game instance will have a unique ID as well as each client. These will be used in conjunction with the server to determine who is where and what is going on. Our networking is heavily centered off our MySQL database from our website, where we have PHP architecture that handles our client entities. The application takes information from the user in order to communicate with the server through the three scenes. The login scene takes information about an account to be able to retrieve files from the server at the later stages of the game. Information like email, username, and password is gathered here. The lobby scene requests information for existing games based on the username that is being used and creates a game object within the SQL table. The game scene takes both player and game object information in order to retrieve and post moves. When the game is created, our scriptable objects checks if there was any action saved through our XML file format. If there are, it will be deserialized to a scriptable object in Unity. Whosever turn it is, our scriptable object will place the mechs correctly on the board. As the player makes new moves, it creates a scriptable object at the push of the end turn button. It then serializes it and sends it back to the SQL table. Display previous turn button loops through the movable objects and replays all actions that object has done. After it's done, it clears all the moves from the SQL table. On behalf of the Battle Tactics team, I'd like to thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed our game architecture video.